been in this room 3 times, sitting 2 times in that area, and 1 time in this area. And as a student leader, just like you, my main message today to tell you is that, first off, congratulations, you are all awesome, and you've done a lot of dedication, hard work, and amazing things for you to get to this point. You all are student leaders. The second thing I have to say, and the point of this keynote is very simple. Keep moving forward. And I hope to convey that for both my NOVA story and my UVA story. So I remember actually being right over here, pinned as an orientation assistant in 2010. Except instead of this like good-looking, came speaking to you today, I look like a demented-looking Harry Potter kid. I was not confident in myself, and I tended to say stupid things. I just say less stupid things now. And I remember being pinned, and it was one of the most, for me at that time, the most awesome events of my life. Because I'm like, I'm going to be a student leader. This is awesome. So I went home, kind of partied a little bit, and I got off, and 2 months later, I would be asked to tell my NOVA story to 200 parents and students for 3 to 5 minutes. Now, Tiffany Lennon, who asked me to do that, in my head, I was like, she's strict. Because she wants this demented-looking Harry Potter kid that's kind of socially awkward and says foolish things to talk to a large audience. And I was scared because I didn't, know what I was going to say. And I was afraid the parents were going to beat me up or the students were going to beat me up. And I went up on stage and I spoke. And I learned a very valuable lesson following that, and my first leadership lesson from my NOVA experience. Very simply, first off, parents and students don't beat you up. The second thing is that the best way to conquer your fear is to face it head on. And as a speaker, as someone who went up and spoke, my biggest fear was not speaking in front of a large audience. It was saying foolish things in front of a large audience. And every one of you guys and gals in this room are fearful of one thing. And if I can give you my first piece of advice, face your fear head on. So 3 months later, I would become the Vice President of Marketing for Phi Theta Kappa. And it's always very interesting because, I know what you events, working with amazing students and creating during my tenure in Phi Theta Kappa. NOVA Prem Week and NOVA's Got Talent. Who here has heard of those events? Raise your hand. Okay. It's very interesting though, because 10 months, those first 10 months before those events even took place, I screwed up every bake sale I could think of. And I screwed up every meeting I could think of. And I can see that my, Phi Theta Kappa officers here, we have 80 members in the organization. And it's a really humbling fact, as a leader, when only 2 people show up, one of them not even being part of Phi Theta Kappa. But I can tell you that in my tenure as Phi Theta Kappa, I failed quite a bit doing bake sales, going out and setting up meetings. But if I had not failed in those events, NOVA's Got Talent and NOVA Prem Week would not have been the events that they were. That still continued on for the next 2 years. And my second lesson to you is very simple. Failure is perspective. You learn a lot from it. And every one of us in this room have something that, we may fail a little bit at. We may not do so well. And that's awesome. That's fine. Because you're going to learn a lot from it. And my third lesson that I learned at NOVA was a very simple 3-word phrase. I'm not stealing this from Nike. Just do it. And my lesson to you as rising student leaders, as students who will be moving on to their next stage in life, is that all you need to do, if you have an idea, if you have a passion, if you have a dream, go out there, do it, make it happen, execute on it. So, a little bit of background. I had to walk 4.5 miles, being a NOVA student, to get from Herndon to the Loudoun campus, and the Loudoun campus to my job, which was at a law firm in Herndon. And it was an issue. I got very fit that summer, all that spring. I didn't get hit by a car, almost, because I was riding a motor scooter to get to school. And in my second year, I had the opportunity to go to to Richmond with the General Assembly, both Tiffany, Dr. Rydick, and 5 of the students, including Ali G, who's sitting in this room today. And each of us got to pitch for about 30 seconds to a minute an idea that would help the student body. So I told Senator Herring, I'm a student who had to walk to school. And it'd be really awesome if there was a bus route that helped students get from Herndon to Loudoun. It would help a lot of Herndon and Reston students because the bus didn't run between 9 and 4. And Senator Herring said, okay, Josh, send me your suggestions. Again, I learned a very valuable lesson that, you can send a 10-page proposal that could get you an F in English class because there's so many grammar errors in there, that you can draw the maps on Microsoft Paint, and you can make the schedules on Microsoft Excel. And just maybe, that idea could become a reality. That within 10 months, a bus route could become a bus route that helps students for the last year. If I learned anything from student leadership, is that don't wait, go out there, and make your idea happen. The worst that could have happened when I asked that question was Senator Herring said no. And then I walked up here, 2 years later, transformed from a meant-to-look Harry Potter kid, kind of like Pokemon, evolved. And I was the first student government president of the Loudoun campus, co-founded student government with Shara Daniels and Omnia Bruno. And I was here, moving on to the second best business school in the country, the University of Virginia, Macquarie School of Commerce, and I was also accepted to Georgetown. And, I thought my Nova story was over. I was really, really wrong about that. The second story I give you is my UVA story. So many of you in this room will be transferring to your next stage in life, and I'm here to tell you whether it be vocational or as a transfer to University of Virginia, GMU, Virginia Tech, or any other university across the world. I'm here to tell you that it's going to be all right. I was a UVA student. I transferred in. I was scared. I was uncertain. I didn't know many people. I listened to every room and I told someone told me anything from UVA being really scary, that you're going to get beat up if you walk around 14th Street. I listened to that one for the first week. I was coming and I realized, oh God, everything's fine. Just kidding. I was scared and uncertain. And one thing they had us do in orientations, they had us write a letter to ourselves that we would get back the day we took finals. So on that letter, I wrote, I am scared, I am uncertain, but I'm happy to be here, just scared. I wrote that I was going to build a mobile app, write a book, stay true to who I am, be an awesome person, be open, make lots of friends, and talk to lots of people. And I was going to run for transfer school president and comm school representative. So, and I forgot I wrote this letter. I got this 2 weeks before I was going to do this speech, so it was like inspiration. And in September 2012, I ran for comm school representative. I lost the election. If Phi Theta Kappa taught me anything, it was something very simple. That failure is a perspective. And for me, I said, okay, I lost the election. What do I do now? I'm going to focus more on entrepreneurship. In December 2012, I would do my first big motivational speech in front of 200 Herndon High School and students and faculty. And if anything that Nova taught me as an orientation assistant, it was very simple. I can take something that I was very fearful of, transform it into something that I can pass by and speak, and then actually use what I was fearful of to motivate other students to achieve their dreams. In November of 2012, I would do the second thing on that, third thing on that list, and I would publish my first book, Investing Blunt to the Point, and secure a partnership with Amazon. In April of this year, about 16, 17 days ago, I would work with my best friend Justin Washington to develop our first mobile application, Drunk Mode, that curbs drunk dialing, a project that I worked on for 8 months, 20 hours a week, sleeping in the library at times. And it showed me, I know the experience very simply showed me that if you have an idea, if you have a dream, go out there, make it happen, do it. Because, the bus route worked, why couldn't other things? And then in March, I would travel the world. I would travel to Silicon Valley to visit Facebook, to visit Google, to visit all the firms over there. I would work with an amazing team from University of Virginia, Annapolis, to create a product that would make $1.1 billion for Unilever, people who make Dove Max, if they actually did it. And they sent us to Singapore to represent the United States with 9 other teams to construct marketing strategies to help 130 million children to wash their hands more. If Nova taught me anything through that experience to do what I did there, it was simply that sometimes as a student leader, you have to do something bigger than yourself. And that every one of us has the ability to make the impossible just a bit possible. And I guess to close this speech out, I just want to say very simple. I'm sure every one of you have heard, or in orientations, that Nova is what you make of it. I'm going to transform that and actually say that your life is what you make of it. And as a student leader, just like you, if I can give you any advice as a rising student leader, as someone who is transferring to your next stage in life, just keep moving forward. Thank you.